Hey everyone, Sarah here at sewingpartsonline.com, and today we're going to talk about your sewing machine belts. They're an important part of maintaining your machine. There are several different types of belts. There are V-belts and lug belts and treadle belts and gear belts and round belts and timing belts. There's a ton. And in this video, we're going to teach you the signs of a bad belt and how to find out which belt your machine uses. We'll even show you how to install one. So let's get started. First, how do you know if you need a new belt? Well, if your belt is on the outside of your machine, you'll see obvious signs of erosion or cracks or excessive slack to the belt. If your belt is on the inside of your machine, you'll feel it struggle to sew or will stop sewing altogether. And these are signs you've likely got a bad belt. You may even hear a clicking sound from too much slack. If your feed dogs or your hook are out of time, then you need a new timing belt. To find a replacement belt for your machine, go to our website, www.sewingpartsonline.com, and click on Machine Parts. Then click on the make of your sewing machine. Use the search box to find the model number of your sewing machine. Then simply click Belts to find all the belts that are compatible with your machine. If that doesn't work, we need to do some measuring. If your motor belt is on the outside of your machine, this is pretty simple. If your machine's motor is adjustable, loosen the motor screw and adjust the motor to the middle of the slot. Take a shoestring or twine and wrap it around the hand wheel in the same spot that the belt will go. Tie the shoestring nice and snug around the motor pulley, exactly how your belt would go on your machine. Then cut the shoestring or twine to remove it from your machine. Place it next to a ruler to measure the length. This measurement is the size of your belt. If your belt is on the inside of your machine, you can do exactly the same thing as long as you don't have a geared belt. You cannot measure geared belts with the shoestring method. So you must first gain access to your motor. To access your motor, refer to your machine's service manual. If you don't have the service manual for your machine, visit us at sewingpartsonline.com/sewing-machine-manuals. Then click on the make of your sewing machine and type your model into the search bar. It's usually just one or two screws that you need to remove to access the belt or belts, but not all machines have belts, so you really have to consult your service manual first. Now that you know the size of your belt, you need to determine which type of belt to buy. If you have a treadle machine, you're in luck. All you need is one of our universal treadle belts. It will fit every treadle machine ever made. Now, I like to break belts into two groups, geared belts and not geared belts, and that sounds silly, but if your machine uses a geared belt, you have to use the exact belt made for your specific model. A geared belt has teeth that fit inside the grooves on the motor pulley, so there's no wiggle room. So let's take a closer look at the belts to understand the differences amongst them. A V-belt is tapered on the inside, just like the letter V. We highly recommend these belts because they fit perfectly into the groove of your motor pulley and they perform very well. A lug belt is easy to distinguish because of its teeth. These teeth are tapered on the inside and act like the grooves on your tires. If a V-belt isn't available for your machine, then this is the next best choice. A round belt, aka a stretch belt, is designed to stretch to fit measurements within a set range. For instance, this one replaces belts measuring between 12 inches to 15 inches. You'll notice that this belt is round like your finger. It doesn't fit very well into the groove of your motor pulley. If neither a V-belt nor a lug belt is available for your machine, you can use a round belt. However, it won't perform as well. It's really a last resort belt. Installing a V-belt, round belt, or lug belt is pretty easy. Simply loosen the motor screw and bring the motor as close to the hand wheel as possible. Your old belt should just slide right off. Place the new belt around the motor pulley and the hand wheel. Reset the motor pulley to its original position and tighten the screw. Timing and geared belts are easy to remove, but require much more precision when installing. And that's because if you install a geared belt incorrectly, you risk throwing your needle bar out of time. So, raise your needle bar to its highest point and mark it with a Sharpie. Then, mark the highest cog on your motor pulley. This way, if anything accidentally moves, you know how to line up the needle bar and the motor pulley so that the timing is synced. Now, you can remove the old belt and slide on the new belt. Replace any of the parts that you had to remove to get to the belt per your service manual. So I hope that this was helpful. To get a new belt for your sewing machine, visit us online at sewingpartsonline.com. If you want to come and hang out with our sewing community, visit us on Facebook at facebook.com/sewingpartsonline, Twitter at sewingparts, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram. We're everywhere. And of course, be sure to like this video, share this video, and subscribe for our next sewing video.